So all classes, hey, good morning, GME Pros. All classes are recorded. They are put on the back end. If you don't know how to get to GME Pros to see the recordings, go to williamjonesmarketing.com. In the menu, it says GME Pros login. Click on that, log in using your email. If it says reset your password, reset it. If you're having any issues, click right-hand top side at williamjonesmarketing.com where it says submit a support ticket. I guarantee I'll have your ass set up before the end of the day. Okay, because I do answer all them damn tickets. All right, so without further ado, today we're going to be talking about local SEO keyword research, specifically how to reverse engineer your competition's keyword research. Okay, because a lot of times, and we're going to be taking everything step by step. Okay, so without further ado, let me go ahead and get live on Facebook and then we'll get started. Because there are some people that don't want to be on Zoom and they want to be on Facebook. So we'll do all that. Go ahead, Alfredo. You got your let's go ahead. Let's see. Why is it not letting you unmute?
No, I got it.
Okay, I'll just making sure.
Guys, if you have a question too, please just raise your hand in here and I'll get you unmuted and you can ask your question. And we're going to ask if some of you can show your camera. That way we can see your beautiful faces and see who you are since we opened this up for everybody to participate. We would love to see some of your faces, see who you are. Did we lose William? I think we lost connection. What happened here? Okay. Give me 1 second. There he is. Carlos. Okay, Anna Williams here. So guys, please, if you can, like Carlos, show your faces. And if you have any questions, please just raise your hand and we'll allow you to unmute and ask your questions.
Yeah, I'm just getting set up here on Facebook and everything, and then we'll go ahead and get started. So
Awesome.
Let me
Eric, Harry, Christine, welcome. We were just talking about nothing but good things about you, Christine, today.
We
have Danny, G. Willie, KB. And what we set up, if you guys can tell me where you guys are at in the chat box too.
All right.
See where you guys are at.
So keyword research. Which one y'all want me to go over first? Keyword research for local business, or y'all want me to talk about the step-by-step reverse engineering competitions traffic? Let's do keyword research first. I'm gonna try to do 2 or 3 of them, but reverse engineering competitions. Oh, come on, baby. Get this set up, we'll be good to go. All right, reverse engineering competitions, organic traffic or keywords. All right. So I'm going to go through the slideshow presentation like lickety split. And then after that, go through, I'm going to create a template, SOP, give you the homework, show you the process. It's going to take less than an hour. Okay. If you have any questions, drop them below and I will get to those. Okay. If I don't get to them, my secret sauce, Alfredo, will do it. It's a new nickname for me. So let's go ahead and do this. All right. So some of this still going to have, if you will, William Jones Marketing is going to have Rank Fortress on it, but reverse engineer your competitors' organic keyword strategy. Most everything I'm going to show you, I don't like using tools. I will show you how to do it for free without tools. And then I will also show you as well how to do it with tools. Okay. So I'll show you both. because we like doing things without the tools. Because most of the time, people rely too much on tools, and reality is you don't need all them damn tools. You save your freaking money. If you want to spend money on something, buy some websites or some shit that actually matters. So, reverse engineer competitors' organic keyword strategy. The goal of this, guy, is to help you reverse engineer the SEO keyword strategy of your competition. Stop doing SEO the stupid way. Okay, what's the stupid way? Everybody goes, for instance, well, the SEO gurus tell me to do it this way, and I need to do this and this and this and this. Well, why don't you just use your brain and go, who's the top 3 in my niche? Whether that's maps, whether that's organic. All right, that's all we got to do. We don't need to necessarily go through all the jargon that everybody wants to use and complicate things. SEO is not that complicated, okay? It may seem complicated, but it's not that complicated. What's our expected result? You're going to have a document that shows you the keywords, the pages, the topics of your competition that they are organically ranking for, right? Once we have that, we can then make a game plan. We don't want to just come in there with guns blazing, just shooting a bunch of shit up, and then you are wondering, or you're throwing spaghetti at the wall and being like, well, why isn't this shit working? Why is my competition still beating my ass? Okay. The reason why is because you've never made a plan, right? So we're going to give you a plan. Right? The requirements, there are none. Just that you show up and put in the damn work like Jeffrey did last week, right? Give you the template and say, go to work. Put in the freaking work. Don't just come in here and waste time. What's the importance or what's the relevance of this? Why are we doing it, right? Because we want to see what our competition ranks for. We want to know what they're ranking for. Why are they whipping our ass? We don't just want to say, well, this SEO person or this tool tells me I should go after these keywords, therefore I did it. Well, why are you doing that? If you're trying to beat your competition and they're successful in your city, okay? You're going to see what they're ranked for, what they're ranking for, what's working for them. The whole goal of these classes is, okay, I'm in this niche, in this city. What is this person doing? How do I beat them? It's that simple, all right? Where to do this? We're going to use Google Sheets, Ahrefs. You can use SEMrush, Ahrefs. I'm going to use SEMrush, okay? And Google Sheets. Hey, Holly. I've seen Holly just came in here. Just want to say hey to you. Hopefully you're feeling better. Been having back issues and stuff, but when should you do this? Well, as soon as you start your business, all right? Most people want to do SEO and they want to talk about, oh, I'm going to do SEO. And then they wait months and months and months and months and months. And they're not doing no marketing, no branding. They're not doing no content. And then they wonder why when someone goes and Googles their ass, they're not seeing nothing. How many of you guys, for example, you've been seeing me push reels or podcasts? How many of you guys are doing any of that? You know, and if you're not, you're leaving money on the table. Okay. Michigan, Matthew. Awesome. So when should you do it? The very beginning. You know, then do it periodically just to see, has the competition changed what they're focusing on? Right? Who can perform this? You can get an SEO expert or do it your damn self. You don't need an SEO expert. You are the SEO expert. The whole goal of these classes is so that you know how to do this shit. So you don't have to necessarily go out and do it yourself unless you discover, hey, this shit is actually pretty hard. This is not, you know, not everybody wants to nerd out on SEO. Okay. Environment setup. You're going to need Ahrefs or SEMrush. And how can I say it's free? Because they give you a damn trial and you don't necessarily have to pay the money. Okay. You can do the light plan. It's fine. All right. If you only want to use Ahrefs for the purpose of this guide, it's important that you complete everything within 7 days unless you want to pay some money, okay? How to identify the competitor that you want to reverse engineer. There's 2 ways of doing this, okay? 2 ways to reverse engineering, okay? Use a VPN, hide your IP, and then go Google that shit, right? Simple as that. Go into Google, using a VPN, and go to the city, and then type in your keyword, and go, who's ranking in the top 3? Who's ranking on page 1? It's not complicated, okay? Number 2 way of doing it is you could use a keyword tool. I use Local Dominator and see, who's in the top 10, right? And I want to concentrate on those. So I will use Local Dominator. You'll see me posting geogrids all the time, and that's because I'm using Local Dominator, right? The other way most people do it, using a VPN to match their IP address of their location that they're wanting to be at, right? The organic results are important. The ads that appear at the top are not, unless you're doing Google ad keyword research, which we actually have another SOP on that. All right. Review all the organic results that you find on the first page. Like I said, we're going to go through this PowerPoint, and then I'm going to show you step by step. Right. So VPN, what's the organic results? Here's the process for identifying them. All right. In step 2 is via SEMrush or Ahrefs. Use an organic search. Select the country. You'll get a list of your top 10 in competition. How do you export them? It's simple. Literally has an Excel file or PDF where you just download that shit. Okay. The last step, export the data. Now you got all of it in a CSV. Voila. Okay. How to import your competition's keyword into your own template. Now we're going to be creating a template live here where I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay. And it's going to have each and every one of the files that we need. We're going to create buckets. All right. We're going to have all the keywords, and we're going to have siloed content. Simple guide to help you do it. You're going to have the page URL, right? What's the page? What's the keyword? What's the volume of traffic they're getting from it, right? Then what's the current traffic to that URL? What's the average keyword difficulty, which we went over last week? And what's the keyword bucket it goes into? All right. You can expand it. Examining all the keywords you see. You're going to get a lot of keywords maybe you don't want to even try to rank for, etc. At the end of this process, you'll have a document that contains all the pages of your competition. Besides the pages of your competition, you're going to also have, besides all that jazz, you're also going to have a spreadsheet. It's going to say, here's the URL, here's the keyword, here's the difficulty. Then what I wind up doing is I'm going to organize that. All right. If you have any questions, put it below. So it's Matthew, Mr. Young Spider. Carlos, you just signed up for Local Dominator, still have no idea how to use it. So we'll do a class on how to use it. Because you use it for prospecting and everything else. I'm going to stop and say, hey, Holly. I haven't seen Holly in a bit, so.
Hey, man, how are you?
Miss you. That's what. Can't get you to come to Asia. I'm going to have to come to the States. I've actually been considering going camping. I see you camping all the time. So.
You can't be camping here until at least late April. So.
Yeah, my mom and dad go camping all the time, but they're down in Florida. So, all right. So thus far, guys, y'all have any questions of what we're going to be covering in this process? I'm not going to be organizing intent yet, but we will have. I mean, the whole process literally has all that. So, is it a transactional keyword? Is it an informational keyword? All this stuff. I'm going to show you how you can use this. So Marcus left, awesome. Marcus joined as a guest, awesome. Nice to see you, Dale. Nice to see you, Kara. All the new guys in here as well. So, all right. So give me, because we're already doing this for Eric, give me anybody a keyword or a competitor you want me to look up. Just give me a URL. All right. Unless you don't want it to be public, because this is public. I'm going to wait till somebody gives it to me, or I'll force somebody to give it to me. I'm not in here to waste my time. So participation. There we go. House leveling, Carlos. Awesome. What's the name of the not just the keyword, but the actual competitor? No, thank you, Harry. And if anybody wants to know who does podcasts, Holly does podcasts. So I'll actually be having her do a lot of my stuff as soon as I get where I need to be. So let's see here. Oh, all right, let's go ahead and we'll open up Google Drive. We're going to create a sheet. There are other tools. FYI, I don't know if you guys know this, probably do, and I'll show you all how to use this later. But there are other tools. There's one called Tango, in which as you're creating an SOP, which is one of the things we use, but as you're creating an SOP, it will actually record all the clicks, all the screenshots, everything to do the SOP for you. So, but for today's class, we're going to call this reverse. We're going to do this live.
You have
It's
one
not-
in there. G Willie put one in.
Yeah, that's what I'm actually doing. Trim light, permanent Christmas lights. Okay, we'll do that one. And I'll probably, well, Carlos had his in here first. I'll do my best to do both of them, but we'll reverse engineering competition. All right. You can make this all pretty. You can do whatever it is that you like to do. So, URL, keyword, we'll go through it, but let's go ahead and go to SEMrush. I know there's a lot of hate on SEMrush right now, just a sheer fact how much damn money it costs, and they keep bumping the price up and up and up and up and up. But still a good tool. All right. So in my opinion, this is not necessarily someone I would be looking at. But we'll take it just for the purpose of this. So Aztec house leveling. I'm going to assume you gave it to me because they're whooping your ass or whatever. Most of the traffic is going, if we're looking at this, what are we looking at? Okay. They got their authority score on their website, sucks. It's an 8. But that's not really what I give a shit about necessarily. What's their organic traffic? Only 220. How many backlinks? Only 865. Most of their traffic is coming from the States. They got a little bit of traffic across the world. And then you have their organic keywords actually been kind of just like up and down and really dropped in March. And then now it's kind of just, blah. It's not like it's, crazy or anything. Top organic keywords. You see a problem here, but this is a good thing, but most of their keywords are branded. If I look down here, branded versus non-branded being keywords like, let's just say house leveling. Okay. Most of their keywords are going to be branded. All right. That's something you do want, but you don't want all your keywords to be branded. The keywords, are they going to be informational? Is it navigational? Is it commercial? Is it transactional? Right? I want a lot of my stuff more so to be informational and transactional is what I'm looking for. Who's your main competition? And it gives you here your main competition is, right? Your backlinks, your top anchor texts, how many referring domains they have. So all of this information is stuff that we can use to go, okay, well, for instance, are they whooping our ass? Are they doing paid traffic? Where they're getting their keywords from? What type of keywords? What type of backlinks? And then I can reverse engineer it. This is one of the reasons why we want this is not necessarily just for these nice, pretty graphs. It's because we want to be able to reverse engineer whatever the hell they're doing. Okay, so for example, if we go to their keywords and we want to look at their main keywords, you can go view details, right? This is how hard and difficult this shit is. So you could export all of this, right? We export all of it, and I'll show you what this is going to look like. We can go to Excel or CSV. Let's do it in Excel for right now. Download it, desktop, and I'll pull that up so we can look at this real quick. Okay.
Now, guys, please take note on how William is looking at it, questions he's asking, because a lot of this too is the thought process behind it as well.
That's kind of what I want to show you all live. It's not necessarily it's meant to be pretty. It's meant to you see different things that I may see that are unusual. And then the reason why I'm using the tool necessarily is to see, was there anything unusual? Is there any weaknesses in their armor per se that I can, take advantage of? So on the Excel sheet, mainly you're going to have all this data here. You're going to have the URL, you got the keyword. I could care less about the position. I could care less about the previous position. I can care less about those things. I'd wind up deleting them. The keyword density is one of the things that I'm going to look at, or the keyword difficulty. All right, I'm going to look at that. Cost per click, I like. URL, I like. Traffic, I'll pay attention to. But sometimes even when it's zeros like this, I will pay attention to it. Right, especially if it is a brand that I'm trying to take over. Let's see, competition. How much competition is there in it? Number of results. How many results are there? Trends. All this other stuff. I really don't care about that sort of thing. Now, once I take all this, I'm going to take. Let's do this real quick. Let me stop sharing. So drop some questions in. Alfredo is going to answer this, but I'm going to go ahead and create and put everything on this template that I want. So URL, keyword difficulty.
So as he's cleaning that list up, guys, if you have a question up to this point, feel free. Now, remember, we have the freeway, SEMrush, Ahrefs, right? So if some of you've seen my audits, I have Ahrefs, same information, guys. Just that's why I say get the idea that certain things that he's looking at, it's all the same. And it doesn't matter, like we mentioned Holly today with podcasts, YouTube, ads. It doesn't matter what niche, what area, everything, guys, starts with keyword research. Everything doesn't matter. Because you want to know, like somebody said, the intent of it, the search volume, how expensive it is, and what keywords, like if somebody types X that you want to pop up, right? And we want to gear that, all our research around that. So keyword research is huge. It's and anything, like again, podcasts, YouTube, Google, Facebook, it all starts with keyword research.
It's like one of the things, like most people, well, I don't need a podcast. You tell me you don't need a podcast or you don't need to do reels is like saying you don't need a brand, you don't have a business. So, I mean, if you don't have a business and you want to treat it as if it's not a business, go right ahead, be my guest, but you'll never win. You just won't. You need to treat your business as a business. And it's like, why do you use ebooks? Why do you use podcasts? Why do you use, why are people wanting movies and wiki and all this other stuff? It's because they're developing a brand. And then they become an authority, or they become known as the entity. A little fancy term everybody wants to throw around. So we're almost done here. I'm just putting in different things here for you guys. And then we'll go from there. When you're doing, just out of curiosity, Holly, when you're doing you're setting up a podcast, do you do any keyword research at all? Or is it important to you or not important to you?
Try it now, Holly.
for podcasts, I don't overly look at keyword research. Like, I want to see what other podcasts in the niche, how they're like naming their episodes and stuff like that. That's probably to the extent of the
Mhm.
keyword research. I mean, obviously, if you have a lawyer, you're going to do podcast episodes of questions and stuff like that. So you have to know about keyword research, but it's not like my focus.
Mhm. And so, like in Holly's case with the podcast, one of the things we talked about before is, and we'll talk about this later, but like, who's your ideal client? Who's your audience? Like for Holly, I'd say probably more important with a podcast is who's your audience. Like if you don't even know who your audience is and who they're trying to reach, then doing whatever keyword research you do is really irrelevant, because different audiences want to know different information. Like I've dropped questions before and say, what would y'all guys want to be taught? There's two things that always come up: GMB verifications, which is always number one. And then number two, how to sell SEO services, how to sell shit. It's never necessarily, a lot of people come in, it's never necessarily how to do the actual SEO, or it's how to hire or whatever, but that's your audience. So in this case, when we're doing keyword research, we're starting with a presumption that, hey, in this case, I'm doing, in Eric's case, was fencing, right? Carlos says, so you suggest for just a single niche, I mean a service area based business. When I'm setting up a GMB, I'm going after one specific niche and I'm trying to go after that one specific keyword starting out. But then we're going to show you how to cover multiple keywords. It's not just about that. Okay. So for Aztec Foundation repairs, let's say this guy's number one. I'm going to tell y'all some things that can get you got to be careful with certain things. I like how Holly says it. This is the line. Don't go up to it. You go up to it as close as possible. But for example, Aztec Foundation repairs. If their name is not trademarked, I am not a lawyer, but if their name is not trademarked, you can try to outrank their brand very easily. Okay. So when I'm doing keyword research, another thing I'm looking at, for example, when I'm looking at their keywords and I go, and I'll pull this up real quick. I'm going to view the information, organic positions, all that stuff. I'll show you the screen real quick. But we went over this kind of last time. But when we're pulling the keywords into this sheet that I just gave you guys, okay, it's going to have the URL, the keyword difficulty, search volume, and intent. This is the template. Okay. So we're going to take all these keywords, right? And we're going to organize it by search volume or keyword difficulty. So let's say I just wanted to go after every keyword this guy had. He's got 2 pages worth. Anything up to, I would say, about 20 is going to be relatively easy for me to take. Right? So if I wanted to go after any of his brand name, Azteca Plumbing or any of that stuff, I could relatively do it very easily. Aztec Foundation, any of this stuff. Now, if the brand name is trademarked, I don't suggest it. What I mean by trademark, like Disney, or they're actually trademark brand name, you don't want to do it because you can get in legal trouble for doing so. So when you're doing your keyword research, it's not just necessarily about, and I've seen people do this with even with Google Ads. For example, you're trying to take all these keywords and we're going to create content for it, because the whole purpose of putting all this pretty shit into a sheet is then I give this information, once you see it done, I give all this information over to my writers then write the content. Then I give that information. It's optimized by the SEO team. SEO team then places it on the website. Okay. Now, inside of that, we could also go after brand names, brand terms. A brand term is, can anyone name what a brand term is? Really simple. Carlos, Christine, Tim, Jeffrey, text inside of the chat. What does it mean when I say brand keyword? So you want your regular keywords and you want brand keywords. So brand keyword would be using their actual brand name plus the keyword, brand name plus phone number, brand name plus address, brand name. Yeah, bingo. Tim, thank you. So we're going to take all that information that we downloaded and we're going to take all of that and I'm going to put that all in a nice handy dandy little sheet. So Alfredo, take it over so I can work on this a little bit more. And
Well, guys,
then
you will hear sometimes like brand name, variation, you'll hear entity, you'll hear LSI keywords. Essentially, don't get caught up in the names. Those are keywords. Those are like what Google, remember, Google can't read. So if it wipes everything off, just leaves the like main keyword, like from those keywords, can you tell what your page is about or what you're trying to go after, or where you're trying to go after? So remember, you want to know where, what, and what your service is, right? Where you're trying to go after, what keyword you're trying to go after, and what's your service. So those are all variations of the keyword, LSI, entity keywords, and variations of the keywords, right? And some of it is pretty self-explanatory. And then between entity and LSI, one has a Wikipedia page, one doesn't, but it's same difference, right? I'm sure there's a better way to explain that, but just keep it nice, simple.
no, keep it simple. That's too many
Yep.
people overcomplicate every damn thing.
Same difference.
Your key difficulty position. I'm almost done, guys. So
Yeah, so like Carlos, so like action house leveling compared to Azteca house leveling. Yeah, so Azteca, I'm assuming by what you're going after here is the brand, right? And then the keyword house leveling, right? And different variations of that. Yeah, that's just the brand itself. 1000% correct. Like Tim said, include the brand name, the company name, right? It's for, and then with the keyword that you want Google to pick up. But and a lot of you have heard it here before, is like if I put in the brand name, just the company name into Google, do you have a knowledge panel? Like that whole first page should be something about you, citations, Facebook, your website, your free Google website. That's your brand. That's the name, the business name, right? And then we were trying to associate these keywords with your brand name.
yeah, I'm almost done here.
So up to this point, guys, if you have any questions, please raise your hand. You can, we'll get you unmuted here. You can ask it up to this point. So we have Ahrefs getting the keywords, getting the competition, the intent, and then from there, you want to organize it, right? Put it on an Excel sheet, because now you here in a minute, we're probably going to do some comparing what you have, what you don't have. And everything, like I said, essentially starts to a certain point, like Holly said, to a certain point, you go, so far with like podcasts, but there's some form of keywords, and don't go too deep into it. Don't get lost in the rabbit hole. Just good enough, like get a good foundation. Remember, best practices, the minimum dosage of effectiveness.
So like with most local business, you don't need to necessarily delve too deep. Whereas if it's a national brand or someone that's really difficult, you may have to, like in this case, like house leveling, I'd say no, but someone like a, personal injury lawyer or someone in New York, yes. So for example, when I look at this information, when we're looking at our competition, so this is our competition. It's all nice and pretty in here now, right? URL, what's the URL? What's the website? What's the main page they're ranking all these keywords for? So the main page that they're ranking this one for is the homepage, right? Then this one where they're going after home leveling San Antonio, right? That's obviously a location page, even though they didn't set up the URL right? Because the URL should have been San Antonio, not San Antonio in one. But nevertheless, then what's the keyword difficulty? Is it a commercial, transactional, navigational, informational keyword? Right. So we've organized all of this as nice and pretty instead of just, all jacked up. So let's go here. Is keyword difficulty. What's the search volume, and then what's the intent? Now, there are two columns that I have here, right? That are not going to be filled out. You're not going to have this information based upon SEMrush or HRush. So silos will go over in another class, but essentially a silo is, for me, is going to be, or what I would like to call, instead of a silo, it'd be, let's say, pillar content. All right. And then you have your buckets. Bucket for me, is it going to be navigational, commercial, transactional, informational? It's where bucket for me is, okay, this is the area, this is the holding point for my content writers, so I can place the content and get it ordered and then place it on the website. So any questions so far, guys? So I'm going to drop this. This will be dropped into the group, and it's going to also be dropped into the back end as well. So Carlos said, so like action house leveling compared to Aztec house leveling and differences. Roto-Rooter plumbing, yes. Christine, that one would be like one you would definitely look at and look at every freaking thing they're doing, because it's going to be a lot. Let's see. Includes a brand name. That's an all-in indexer to get index and citations are being created. Don't know what that's a reference to, Carlos, but so the reason now while we have this, okay, now if you can, Carlos, because you're the one that gave me Aztec house leveling, give me your URL and we can compare it. So now what we're going to do is on the same sheet, I can look at and compare the volume, or if you will, what keywords you have versus what keywords they have. Are you missing keywords? That sort of thing. So what we want to do on this sheet is I want to be able to say, okay, what keywords do I have? Right? What keywords do I not have that they have? Right? What keywords do I have? And we'll do side by side columns, right? For example, maybe you have floor leveling, they have floor leveling Houston, and you do not, right? Maybe they have mobile home leveling in San Antonio, Texas, and you do not. And then when I say, okay, I don't have it, or maybe you do have it, right? Maybe you do have it, but they're outranking you, and you're like, well, why are they outranking me? Well, then I can go to that page and I can kind of reverse engineer whatever they're doing as far as content. Mind you, right now we're just looking at the keywords. We're just trying to figure out, what are they ranking for? What am I ranking for? That's the only thing we're trying to do right now. Carlos says, I'm missing a lot, but this is the site. It's a new URL. You don't have any of those keywords. It's okay. The whole purpose of this, Carlos, is to learn. Okay. It's not to embarrass anybody. You look at my shit sometimes to be embarrassed, and I don't care, but we're all here to learn. Okay. You got 3 keywords. Shims for house leveling, Harlington, house leveling, Harlington. So I'm not even honestly going to even compare it. But if I was looking at your site and I was actually comparing it, then I'd wind up putting separate columns and saying, okay, do I have any of this or not have any of this? Right? And in this case, you don't have any of this, but that's the bad news. The good news is you could take, without even trying, you could take, let's just say, half of his keywords. So 50 of his keywords already are very easy to take and outrank for, right? This one's not, that's not a difficult keyword. I mean, but your search volume, and this is where people will go, for example, well, it only gets 20 or 30 search volume, Well, if I have 30 search volume times, I don't know, let's just say 30 times let's pull all these up, right? If I was ranked on just the 50, let's go ahead and go down here. Just take these 50. And he's not even ranked for all of them, right? But if you were to actually outrank this dude in just these right here, which are not hard to do, right here, 2,300 in search volume, right? This is like Aztec house leveling reviews, right? Home remodeling. And people will complain and bitch and say, well, I only want house leveling. I only want that keyword. I don't want it with a geo. Go ahead, go after that and get your vanity metric on and make you feel good and make you feel like you're the best SEO, like you're the SEO god that stepped on planet Earth. But when someone goes after, and I know Holly used to do this as well, whenever you used to go after the easiest keyword sometimes, and I produce like triple the volume of traffic that you're producing, and you wonder why, it's because I'm going after keywords that are not difficult. Like this one right here, house leveling gets 2,400, but it's a little bit more difficult. Anything that's below 20 is not going to be that difficult, especially these right here. These I could take off without even trying. What's the search volume for that? Well, if I just did those, you're talking about close to 1,000 in search volume, right? So it's not always concentrate on the biggest search term so I can get the biggest bang. This is to my client to be like, oh my God, I got 2,400 in search volume. I got the number one keyword. But what about the dude that's getting all these other keywords here? So when we use this sheet, this is what we're going to be doing, okay? Now that you have this sheet, now what we do is we can give this over to our content writing team and we can have them write it. The other thing we can do now is, so when someone comes to us and they order content, I'm giving you a sheet that basically looks just like this and goes, what are all the keywords you want? Right? And it asks you, says, what is the purpose of it? Is it informational? Is it transactional? It asks you all of those things. Let me pull up this onboarding form so I can show you this. If you got any questions, drop them. But let's say, okay, and I'll show you so you'll understand why we use this. This is an order form for content. What's your email? What's the type of content? What's the word count? What's the business name? What's the domain URL that you want it on? What's the services or keyword you want it written for? Example URLs of pages of content you like and why, and any notes you may have. There is the reason why, for example, okay, I just gave you this, right? In the same breath, we just gave you this is the onboarding form. Notice anything's very, very similar. All right, what's the domain name you want yours on? What's the word count? What's your business name? Obviously, because sometimes people order from different businesses. What's the keyword you want ranked for? What are we doing here? What's the keyword, right? What's the example of URLs you like? Well, it's these guys right here, right? Any notes you may have. Because we're trying to reverse engineer what they are doing, okay? I ain't got time to go over reverse engineering traffic, but that will be in the next lesson on the next class. I'll probably combine it with another PowerPoint, which is on local SEO, if you will, for local keywords. And we'll be using another tool. And in that tool, it will be the keyword tool on Google, which is a free tool. Free, okay? Not even needed SEMrush or Ahrefs or anything like that. How can we do the same thing using a free tool? Okay. Any questions? This is why we're doing this. This is perfect. Okay, correct. So Carlos, what I would personally do is take that sheet, because you're going to have the sheet and it got all the information with all the sample data. I'm going to drop it in here, and then I'm going to also drop it in the group. So give me 1 second so I can copy this link. Alfred, you take any questions you want?
Yeah, so guys, you notice how last week and this week they're intermingle, right? And then this is why we have our onboarding, as far as on William Jones Marketing with the services, with the content. Now you guys can take how to get that information really, really, really simple. And they both integrate. They both are good companions, right? Right hand, left hand, helping each other move forward as far as the keyword research.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have your keyword research done, you have no foundation. So how do you know how to beat somebody without ever having? I mean, you've done no research. It's like the Art of War book talks about. It's like you don't know your competition. You don't know who you're trying to beat. You don't know what they're doing. You use SEMrush and stuff for the same way you can use Facebook. You can discover, are they running ads? Where are they getting their traffic from? When we talk about where they're getting their traffic from, it'd be, for example, maybe they're running ads. And when we're looking at, okay, who's your ideal client? We go, okay, are they getting it from newsletters? Is a lot of their traffic coming from podcasts? Is it coming from email lists? Is it coming from directories? Is it coming from guest blog posts? Where is it coming from? And then I want to go after that traffic and siphon it, okay, or steal it, whatever way you want to say it. But stealing is just a very harsh word. You're going after their traffic, pull their traffic, and then once you do that, now you got organic traffic coming in. Whereas if you're doing just CTR alone, the whole purpose of CTR is to get your organic traffic up. Once your organic traffic's up, you no longer need the CTR. Why? Because it will stick, because your organic traffic, right? But we're going to find out, for example, in this guy's case, when we looked at it, he wasn't running any ads. But let's say, for example, and we'll talk about this in another class, but let's just go plumber Orlando. I always use Orlando for some reason. But let's just take, let me go ahead and do a screen share. And I will be getting off here at exactly 9 o'clock because I got a phone call. So let's just say this guy right here, Choice Plumbing Orlando. I don't know. Maybe he's running ads. Maybe he's not. All right. So he's got UTM on. That's good. He's got his UTM on and everything. Let's go open up SEMrush. Just so if I can show y'all something real quick. So I always want to see this. I'll never want to see dips, of course. God just started this year. He's doing really good for having just started this year. Don't you think? His authority score is only a 12. He's got over 3,000 in organic, no paid traffic, only 367 backlinks. He's a really good person to watch. You see, when he was doing good, he dipped, he went back up, generally during algos. Now he's back up. Then I could look at his keywords. I could look at his branded traffic. Look at what you see is totally different from him compared to Aztec. Aztec, most of their stuff was branded. This guy, most of it's non-branded. Okay. Who's his main competition? Shows you that. Is any paid? Where's his backlinks coming from? What type of backlinks? Is it a lot of images? A lot of people, they neglect image SEO, right? Or video SEO, and you can come in here and see, is this person doing a lot of image SEO and stuff? And from images, you can get a lot of traffic. A lot of people neglect that. What are the anchor texts they're using? We're going to do all this when we reverse engineer someone's backlink strategy. We're going to talk about that. Also, the other thing we want to look at whenever we're looking at our competition is how many pages are actually indexed. That was something I did not put on here, but how many pages are indexed? If you got 200 location pages and only like half of them are being indexed, to me, you need to do something different. When we're doing it, location pages, we're getting 90% or more is being indexed, and we're ranking them in less than a week. So This is someone totally different. So we're looking at them and you see this is something that jumps out at you is 98% of their traffic is not branded, right? What type of keywords is he going after? Which ones can I take really, really easy? All of these really dark green ones are easy pickings. Repipe Orlando, Central Plunge. So imagine if you were able to go to your client and go, I just got your ass ranked for like 40 of these terms, all of which are various terms of the main keyword. Let's say, for example, because a lot of people focus on, I only want to go after, in your case, it was house leveling. So what they do is they neglect all the long tail keywords. Okay. And in there, they neglect those and they only want to go after that one big keyword because it's a vanity metric and it puffs up their ego. And that's the only real reason you're going after it. Now, you neglect all the long tail or informational keywords and transactional keywords. And then what happens is it's going to make it difficult. It's going to be much more difficult to get that short tail keyword ranked. But if I will take, let's say I have 200,000 words of content or 200 different keywords, whatever it may be, and I rank all of those keywords, all of which are long tail, do you think it's not going to affect, or will it affect me ranking for the short tail vanity metric? Will it help me rank for house leveling if I went after a bunch of keywords that have to do with house leveling, but they're long tail keywords? It's going to make you rank for the short tail keywords, because what happens is all those long tail, as they sit there and start rising up and you start ranking, start coming up and more traffic is pulled in, Google's going to go, this person here is an expert in this field. This person is getting a lot of traffic when it comes to this specific niche in this specific area, and Google will reward you for it. Whether or not you're focusing on, in this case, house leveling that keyword alone or not, doesn't matter. Are you becoming an expert as the house leveler, house leveler in that specific city? And how you do that is providing content on a regular basis. This is one of the reasons why you should be doing blogs. You should be doing content, press releases, podcasts, YouTube videos, reels, all of it. Another reason, like we talked last time as well, when someone goes to send you some negative traffic or someone wants to badmouth you or whatever, badmouth your business, and someone goes to Google it, guess what they find? They find a bunch of good positive stuff instead of some negative stuff, or they'll find one negative and not all the bad stuff. So what happens is you need to put a lot of content out, because you'll become known as the entity in that area. So thank you, William Carlos. Appreciate it. All right. So the reward this time, like I told you, so whoever takes that sheet, which we already made, and I want you to take this. I want you to do this for your specific competition. I want you to take this sheet and go to your competition and go, okay, you're going to make a copy of this. You're going to go file, make a copy. And then you're going to do the same thing we did in class today, but for your competition. Now on pillar content, what do I mean? So on pillar content, what we mean is, for example, list of services. So what is a list of the services that they have? Also, this is just the different types of intent, informational, navigational, commercial, transactional. Same thing I have here, but pillar content. So for example, if I went over to this young chap right here and I said, okay, what are the pages they have? This is the reason why we did the sitemap. Okay, the whole reason we did the sitemap. We did the sitemap was the very first thing. Why? So you could see all the different URLs and all the different keywords they're going after. So we could do all of the same. Right? Now, once we have that and we have this, we can go, for example, well, in your case, Carlos, maybe you don't have this page, and maybe you don't have this page. Let's see if I can find if they got a sitemap without doing the tool. It's a crappy sitemap. So let's pull the sitemap. So they only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, about 12 pages. So it's not, this is not a very competitive niche. But if you were to take, let's say, plumber in Orlando, it's a totally different situation like we did last time. And then I'm going to wind up recreating all the different pages. One thing I will notice, like your competition here, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different phone numbers. Maybe he has 6 different GMBs. He's got 1, 2, 6 different service areas. There are things I want to look at, like I told y'all guys before. Why I look at the sitemap, you know, because it's going to tell me these things. When I look at the sitemap, does he have all those location pages? You don't see, he's not doing a very good job with sitemap, but he definitely has got a page for San Antonio. He's definitely got a page for Brownsville, right? So this is another reason why, okay, I don't got a sitemap, but I got this, and I can see how he's doing his location pages suck. You know, do you think I could easily outrank Brownsville, Texas for this term? Yes, I could easily outrank him for every one of his terms. So this is why we want to look at it, right? So last week was the sitemap hack, right? Let me pull up the sitemap hack for you guys. So if you've forgotten it, if you haven't done this yet, you need to do it. Sitemap hack, we go and pull, I don't know why it's looking like that right now, but we go and pull their entire sitemap, right? Let me pull up the drive and see real quick. I got the other one, sitemap hack. Let me shut that. Well, on the sitemap hack, why we want to do that is because we are going to look at the competition, see exactly what they're doing, and then we'll reverse engineer it. We'll see all the keywords, all the pages they got made, and they're going to recreate all of them. What's all the blogs they have made? You can use the same information when you're filling out that onboarding form that I already showed you, right? When you're filling out the onboarding form, you can put all that information in there, right? What's the keyword? This is the only thing you'd wind up having to do if you don't use SEMrush. You have to actually type this in, like master. You know, do I want to go after about? No, I don't. You know, he's got residential, commercial, gates, services, contact, blog, testimonials, but like this one, residential wood fencing, chain link fencing, wrought iron fencing. This is what we're doing for Eric, but you want to go through all this, and then I want to take all these magic little keywords, and then I'm going to recreate content on it, then I'm going to set up the structure. That's where this comes in. This is for the structure. Is this going to be, what's the intent? What's the pillar content? Pillar content, I give you for example, what's the pillar content? On that one, residential fencing. On the other page, commercial fencing. You know, fence installation. You know, and then you organize all of these according to where is it going to go as far as pillar content. Bucket wise, is this going to be a navigational or transactional? Right, transactional, near me. Those are all near me terms are transactional. Commercial could be foundation repair. Informational is thumbtack. Navigational is Philadelphia. In other words, where are we going to be going? This navigational is a brand name. Like, you know, you want to organize this. Why are we going to organize it? Because then when we look at our website and we build out our site, then we structure the sitemap, and I'm going to show you a very easy way to do that. Now I can go into whether you do it physically yourself or go into ChatGPT and say, here's all the keywords, organize these into a topical sitemap. It will give you the topical sitemap. Then you can structure your website the way you want it to be using your competition outranking them. And let's say you're ranking for a keyword, they're ranking for a keyword, they're beating you. I can go into their website, take their content information. I can then turn around and rewrite it and then place it on my website and do the same thing they're doing. How many backlinks do they got going to that page? When we reverse engineer and we go through the SOP on backlinking, we'll go over that, because not all pages are going to have the same amount of backlinks. Not all pages are going to have the same anchor text, okay, or intent or traffic. And different things are going to need different different tools. Some tools you may not even need a backlink for. Some tools you may need some CTR or not. You may need some paid traffic. So any questions, guys? I'm going to be getting off here because I do have a call. One thing I do know from them is he does run some ads. He's not running any ads. You might think he runs some ads, but he's not seeing no ads. Does he leave negative reviews on other people's foundation companies? That don't matter, bro. We talked about that last week. People leave negative shit about me. It don't matter. People leave negative shit about everybody all the time. Can't make everybody happy. Like I said last time, if you want to make them happy, sell them ice cream, then they're going to bitch about the ice cream ain't cold enough. All right. Why is Brent in the hospital? That's commitment to show up even in the hospital. He had hip surgery. Holly had back. She had a what is it, like not an epidural, but a big ass needle or something.
Yeah, nerve block.
Yeah. She used to I remember I used to work for a pain doctor, so it's not cool. Not cool at all.
How you doing, Brad? You good?
Yeah, man, I'm just kind of recovering. It was over about noon, so I couldn't miss you guys. Had to flip on. Yeah,
Right on.
I
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank you
it,
for the
man.
support. Yeah.
got a bionic hip now. I'll be the quickest typer around.
So guys, I appreciate you guys' support. We're gonna be calling it here soon if you don't have any more questions. I appreciate you guys for your interaction today. So coming up on the next few days, guys, we have we're gonna have Alejandro speaking on sales coming up here on the 1st. We have Riz coming up here tomorrow, and Micah on Thursday, and we might give you guys a break on Friday. We'll see what's going on. If not, I will come on Friday to close it up. We have a pretty strong week this week. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys. Come on here, be ready with your questions, show your faces. We love to see your guys' support. And do your homework. Absolutely. Yeah, let's do your guys' homework. And if you have any last minute questions, Christine.
Yeah, and if you do the homework too, drop it in at support, which is go to WilliamJonesMarketing.com, top right hand side where it says support. Log in support, drop your homework in there, and whoever drops it in there first gets $100 credit in my website at WilliamJonesMarketing.com. Use it for backlinks, websites, whatever, content, topical map. We do all the keyword research. We have foundational services in there for topical keyword, content marketing, all of it. So we can actually do everything I'm showing you, I can do for you. So
now, guys,
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
if you guys if we don't get to you guys' questions, feel free to book a calendar with me, and I'll feel free. It'll be my pleasure to go through some of these questions. But if you have a quick questions, go for it. Nobody going once, going twice.
I've got too many. I'll have to gather them and then have the next class. But
Yeah, don't hesitate to raise your hands as we're going through these.
Yeah, respect to you guys.
So awesome, guys. So like always, guys, much love, much success, and we'll see you on the next one.
all right, thank you guys. I'll see y'all then.
Thank you so much.